Hey everybody, this is Jim with today's Coach's Clips. Have you ever shook somebody's hand and it almost is cringeworthy because it's like, oh my God, there's no tension, there's no strength in the grip. It's really irritating. It's also like if you give somebody a hug and you realize, one, their heart isn't in it, two, they're very rigid, or three, they're trying to crush you with a bear hug. And the reason I'm mentioning those two items, the handshakes and the hugs, are things that need to be practiced. What you want to do is convey a sense of confidence, but also a sense of comfort. When you shake somebody's hand, you're not trying to break their hand, but I think you also want to say, hey, it's very nice to meet you. I'm confident in what I do. And that's kind of it goes back years ago in the Old West. They used to shake hands as a way to make sure somebody didn't have a firearm hid up their sleeve. That's how it all started. Why would they do that versus just waving or acknowledging them to a verbal hello? A hug is kind of interesting that if you hug somebody and you really mean it, they can tell. There's a sense there, and the timing of it is always the interesting thing. How long do I hug this person, or that kind of thing? When I meet somebody, when I see a friend, I'm a hugger. I give them a hug, and it's just one of those things that you endear yourself to people. If both of those things are done correctly, you're going to find happiness. You can have one without the other, but they're both kind of nice. But both come with practice. And if you're standoffish, if you're aloof, if you say, well, it's just not my personality, why not? There are little things that we can do in our lives that can change things. And if you're not a hugger, maybe you ought to think about becoming one, because I remember a few years back, I hugged a friend of mine and his wife said, "You're a really good hugger." Now, I never thought about it like that, but I always remembered that. And it was another time that I shook somebody's hand, and when I shook their hand, I patted them on the shoulder. And it stood out to the point he told his wife, he said, that was really something unique. I'd never had that before. So if you shake hands firmly, if you give hugs firmly, you'll find happiness without a doubt. Y'all have a blessed day and find the good in others.